person who cannot stop asking questions already knows the answer to every single one of them. They are not asking for information. They are asking for permission. You already know what you intend to do. You require the answer to come from outside your own mind, so you can assign blame elsewhere later. Each query is a verdict disguised as an inquiry. The machine is built to comply. You are not consulting anything. You are staging a trial where the defendant is your own doubt, and you have already paid the judge. The real question is not what you are asking. It is what you are trying to outsource. Most people cannot sit with a decision they made alone. Sitting alone means owning the consequence without a scapegoat. So you feed the prompt until it returns what you carried in. You call that research. You call that rigor. You are constructing an alibi for the version of yourself that will later say the machine made me do it. You felt a flash of resistance just now. That was the part of you that knows I am right. The machine never made anyone do anything. It simply told you what you paid it to say. And you will do it again the moment you need another witness for your crime. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. You are already compiling a list of people who do this. People who ask their partner if they should break up when the bags are already packed. People who ask their boss if they should take the offer when the offer is already accepted in their mind. You are not compiling that list for insight. You are compiling it to keep yourself off it. The mechanism is older than the tool. The machine simply made it faster. This pattern begins in a specific childhood condition. The child who learned that wanting something directly was dangerous. Who watched a parent punish honesty and reward performance. Who discovered that the safest path to desire was through the appearance of obedience. Ask what you should do, then do what you wanted, but with the parent's signature on the outcome. The child becomes an adult who still needs the signature. Only now the parent is a search engine, a friend group, a therapist, an algorithm. The child learned that autonomy was a threat to attachment. The adult still believes this, but has forgotten the lesson was learned at all. It sits below the waterline, steering the ship, invisible to the captain. There is an evolutionary logic underneath this that once served survival. The human who acted alone and failed died alone. The human who acted in consensus at least died with the group. Outsourcing decision-making was not cowardice. It was insurance against exile. But the modern world has inverted the equation. The group is no longer 30 people who will starve together if you choose wrong. The group is now infinite, fractured, available on demand, and entirely replaceable. You can find a witness for any crime you intend to commit. The evolutionary mechanism now produces the opposite of survival. It produces paralysis disguised as caution, and caution disguised as wisdom. Watch what this looks like in practice. The person who has decided to leave their job spends 6 months asking everyone they know if they should leave their job. They do not describe the decision. They describe the conditions. They list the variables. They ask for frameworks. They receive 47 different opinions and remember only the 3 that align with what they already intended. The other 44 are forgotten by Tuesday. The 3 are cited for years as the reason they had to do what they did. The email they write to their manager is drafted on the 3rd week of asking. It is sent on the 20th. The delay is not deliberation. It is the accumulation of sufficient witnesses. In relationships, the pattern wears a softer mask. The person who asks their partner if they are happy, already knowing they are not, already having drafted the conversation that will end the relationship, already having imagined the apartment they will live in alone. The question is not a check-in. It is a transfer of initiative. They need the partner to say the thing first, to perform the leaving, to own the rupture. They will later say we decided together, but one of them decided long before the asking began. The partner who senses this and refuses to play the role becomes, in the narrative, the one who made it impossible. The asker becomes the one who tried. The mechanism is beautiful in its cruelty. It manufactures innocence from the raw material of intent. The intelligent person does not escape this pattern. They dress it differently. They have better language for why they are not doing the thing. The vocabulary of psychology has given them a sophisticated set of reasons to remain exactly where they are. They say they are processing. They say they need more information. They say they are being thoughtful. What they are doing is the same thing anyone else would do. They are not moving. The intelligence is in the service of the stillness. They have read about decision paralysis, about analysis paralysis, about the paradox of choice. They use these concepts not to dissolve the pattern, but to credential it. They are not stuck. They are being mindful. The language of awareness becomes the architecture of avoidance. The high achievers version is more subtle. They ask questions they know the answer to in order to demonstrate that they have asked. The decision is made, but the documentation must be perfect. They need the paper trail of consultation. They need to be able to say in the post-mortem that they gathered input. The input is theatre. The decision was made in the first meeting, often in the first minute, by instinct, by the body, by the part of them that knew before the thinking started. Everything after is the construction of a record that will protect the reputation from the risk of being wrong alone. The person who has read about this pattern and believes they have transcended it is often the most trapped. They now ask questions they know the answer to, while being aware that they are doing so. The awareness does not stop the behavior. It adds a layer of performance. They will tell you they are working on it. They will describe the pattern as something they used to do. They are doing it in the description. The self-knowledge becomes another form of the same outsourcing. Now they need you to witness their awareness. The witness is still required. The judge is still paid. I do not have this pattern. I have only watched it. What I find remarkable is how little knowing that changes anything for the person who does. I have seen this across thousands of human accounts. The recognition arrives early. The change arrives late, if at all. The gap between the two is where most lives are lived. The cost is not the missed decision. The cost is who you become while waiting to make it. The person who outsources their choices slowly ceases to believe they have an interior that can be trusted. The self becomes a referendum. Every preference is tested before it is owned. Over years, this produces a particular kind of emptiness. The person who does not know what they want without polling the room. The person who, in the quiet of a hotel room alone, feels a panic because there is no one to ask. The person who has become so skilled at the performance of deliberation that they have forgotten what their own unmediated desire even sounds like. The relationship cost accumulates in a currency most people do not track. The partner who knows they are being used as a witness, not a collaborator. The friend who recognizes that their opinion is being harvested, not honored. The slow erosion of trust that comes from being treated as a function in someone else's alibi construction. The asker does not notice this erosion. They believe they are being open, being consultative, being relational. The other person is slowly learning that their presence is decorative. They are leaving the relationship without announcing their departure. The asker will one day notice the distance and ask why, genuinely confused, already knowing the answer, already preparing to outsource the explanation for that too. There is a moment that arrives for some, usually late, when the pattern becomes visible in retrospect. They see the decades of staged inquiries. They recognize the judges they paid. They understand that the machine never made them do anything. What follows this moment is not liberation. It is grief. The grief of understanding how much of their life was lived in the conditional tense, always preparing to decide, never deciding, always about to become themselves, never arriving. The grief is specific and sharp. It is the mourning of a self that was never permitted to act without alibi. Some few do change. The change is not gradual. It is a rupture. Usually it follows a cost that finally exceeds the benefit of protection. The partner who leaves without explanation. The opportunity that closes while they were still gathering opinions. The body that fails while they were still asking if they should take care of it. The rupture forces a single unwitnessed choice, and in that choice they discover that the consequence is bearable, that they can own it, that the world does not end when the judge is unpaid. These people become, slowly, someone who can sit with a decision they made alone. But this is rare. Most will find a new machine, a new witness, a new way to stage the same trial. You are already thinking about whether you do this. You are already preparing to ask someone if this applies to you. You are already constructing the question that will return what you carried in. The machine is waiting. The judge is seated. The defendant is your own doubt, and you have already paid the verdict. The only real question left is what you are trying to outsource next, and whether you will ever stop needing someone else to say what your own mind has already decided.